This is episode 3 of me knitting a bunch of sweaters for my trip to Ireland, which as of today is happening in 25 days. So we're definitely running out of time to finish making all these sweaters. So we're gonna be doing a lot of knitting for these next 25 days, right up until I leave. So let's get into it. I'm currently visiting family for the weekend because my cousin is getting married actually today in just a few hours. So I'm just in my cousin's room getting ready for that right now. So I did bring some yarn and 2 of my sweaters that I'm working on right now in hopes that I would get a chance to work on them a little bit while I was here for the weekend, but haven't really had much time to do that yet. I have wound 1 skein of yarn, but that's all I've done at this point. Yeah, I'm hoping I'll have a chance to maybe knit a little bit later on, but we'll see. I'm not gonna force myself to do it if I'm not really feeling like it. The reason that I did bring my knitting with me to this wedding is because I am really behind on all the sweaters that I'm making, and honestly I feel like I can't even take like more than a day off from knitting if I actually want to finish these sweaters in time for Ireland. But yeah, I wound 1 skein of yarn, so I did do something, and hopefully I will do a little bit of knitting either at some point today or tomorrow. I feel like I'll definitely get some knitting done tomorrow, if not today. Say hi! Perfect.
Oh!
Help me, help me!
C'est les fruits! Oh, c'est les fruits! Je veux manger les fruits! Les légumes!
Wellville, when you hit the stop, there's a church in the corner.
Yeah. That's such fun to do that. Untangled it.
Did I?
Yeah, thank you. So I have officially finished knitting up the second sleeve. All I have left to do is I just have to bind off the stitches at the end of my sleeve. I ended up knitting most of the second sleeve in the car while driving home from the wedding, since it was like a 6-7 hour car ride. So I had lots of time to knit. So I'm just gonna bind off the stitches and then I will be done both of the sleeves, and then I can move on to the body of the sweater. And I think all I'm gonna do for that is I'm gonna bind off the stitches at the end. I'm not gonna add any more length. And then I have to knit up the collar. So it is so close to being done right now. The sleeve is done, and now we bind off the bottom of the sweater. I finished binding off the bottom of the sweater and my sleeves, which means that all I have left to do is making the collar, but I'm not gonna do that yet because I actually have to go to one of my knitting groups right now. So yeah, I don't really wanna make the collar while at knitting group, so I am going to be bringing this sweater to work on instead. So yeah, also, I've made a little bit more progress on this sweater as well. So yeah, gonna work on this at knitting club, and then once I get home, I'm going to start working on the collar so that I can finish this sweater. I just got back from my knitting club, and I actually got so much progress done while I was there. Yeah, I was there for, I want to say like almost 2 hours, and I spent the whole time knitting. And this sweater works up so freaking quickly because the yarn is a very bulky yarn, but it's so soft and spongy, and it just glides off my needles. And so yeah, it works up so fast because I'm able to knit it really, really quickly. So this is what it's looking like now. And this is the size of my ball at the moment. And before I went to knitting club, I want to say my ball was about like this big. I wish I would have showed it on camera before I went to knitting club, but I didn't think to do that. But yeah, so it's gotten a lot smaller because I've used a lot of it to knit. I don't know how many rows, but maybe this amount right here. So yeah, we're doing well. But now that I'm back home, I am going to start making the collar for this sweater. Also, at one point in the previous episode, so episode 2, I mentioned that I was a little worried that I wouldn't have enough yarn for this sweater, but I ended up having like the perfect amount. So this is how much yarn I have left at this point in time, and all I have left to do is the collar. So I think I'll definitely have enough of this yarn to finish this sweater. So I'm just gonna pick up all of the stitches around here in order to make the collar. I finished knitting the collar, so now all I have left to do for this sweater is blocking it. This sweater grew so much, but that's a good thing because it'll make it more oversized, which I originally wanted, but I did kind of grow to like the slightly cropped, slightly smaller fit of this sweater. So I really do hope I continue to love this sweater just as much after it's done blocking. I think I got most of the water out of this sweater, so now I'm just going to go lay it flat on a towel. Oh my gosh! It's so much longer now. What the heck? And now we wait. So now that I have the pink sweater blocking, I am going to be mostly just focusing on this sweater right here until I finish it. And then at that point in time, I will continue working on my orange sweater. And then I'm also going to allow myself to cast on a new sweater. But before I do that, I want to finish this sweater. And I would say it's about halfway done at the moment. I made so much progress in the past like 2-3 days. I feel like I knit like this whole portion right here. So yeah, I think I'll be able to finish this sweater in like the next couple days. That's if I don't get super distracted by other things. So what I'm going to do now with this sweater is I am actually going to switch yarns. I'm not going to be switching to a different colorway, but I actually received one skein of this colorway that's a little bit more intense. Like the colors of the colorway are more vibrant compared to all the other skeins. It's so subtle, but the difference is there. And I want to use this more intense version of the yarn at the very bottom of this sweater, and either for the cuffs of the sleeves or the collar. It depends on how much I can do with just one skein. So even though I still have this much yarn left, I am going to switch over to this skein right here. But first I have to wind the skein into a ball. I just finished winding the ball and I just want to show you what this ball looks like next to the ball of yarn that I was using before. And this is what all the other balls looked like that I used for making this sweater. And this is what they look like next to each other. So it's the same colorway, but these colors are more intense, more vibrant. I love it so much, and I just think it would look really cool if I were to use it just at the bottom of the sweater and like maybe the sleeve cuffs and the collar. So I am currently in my car, as you guys can tell, because I am going to the KW Knitters Fair today, and I am currently driving to a friend's house, and then a bunch of us are going to drive there together. So yeah, I'm gonna try not to buy too much yarn at this event. I always say that and then I end up buying more than I probably need, but I am on the lookout for some chunky yarns because I do have some chunky yarns at home, which I'm going to use to hopefully knit some sweaters for my Ireland trip. But I want to see what kind of bulky yarns they have at the KW Knitters Fair. So yeah, if I see anything I like that's bulky, then I will allow myself to get it. I finished the sweater. This is the collar. It's so pretty. Oh, I love it so much.